Everybody is born with a little something extra, and sometimes they just have to find it. A little something extra is that superpower that every single one of us has inside that motivates us and drives our passion and makes us do the things that we do.
We're all on the same team. Let's think about how we can make that team as inclusive as we can.
For those of you listening to our podcast right now, you can also check out our video podcast at alittlesomethingextrapodcast.org.
Hi everyone, we're back at our podcast.
Woo woo!
With something extra.
A little something extra with who?
With my mom and my brother and especially me, the DJ.
Oh boy, especially you, the GiGi.
And with you, the GiGi.
Yes, I am so excited with our segment today because we have two really special guests. I want you to do the intro as a fellow sibling. Why don't you do this intro?
That's why I love these conversations, especially when we're talking with families and with siblings, because I think it's just obviously a perspective that we can share
Totally.
perfectly, and I just love also being able to hear their perspectives as well, because everyone's had a different experience.
Yeah.
And I think that being able to cast that out there and tell people and share that with everyone, it's important for everyone to be able to understand. Yeah. So I guess I will do the little introduction for our guests today. So today we're welcoming to the show Erin Johnson and her brother Matt. You may have seen Matt and Erin on social media. They're on YouTube, they are on Instagram, they are on TikTok, and that's under
they're everywhere.
Erin Advocates. Erin is a mom, a sibling, a storyteller, and an advocate. Her brother Matt is an uncle to her two beautiful kids, and actually a participant at GiGi's Playhouse in Nashville. Erin and her brother have been inseparable duo their entire lives, and now even when she's raising a family of her own, Matt is playing a crucial role in their lives. So along with sharing her life with her brother, Erin also wrote a children's book celebrating the realities of families of individuals with Down syndrome, specifically with siblings, titled Eyes Different Than Mine, which can be found on Amazon. So let's welcome to the show, Erin and Matt.
Welcome, guys. Woo-woo.
Hey. Thanks for having us on.
We're so happy to have you.
For sure.
I still have goosebumps just from the introduction. Like that sibling connection that you guys have is what all of us parents just pray that we have something like that. I literally had goosebumps the whole time that Franco was talking. So as a mother, I want to thank you. I think you are such an amazing sibling, and the impact that you're making in such a different way. That's what I really love about what you're doing. And the stuff is hilarious because we see it with her. And I love that you found like a humorous, fun way to show the incredible people that our kids are. So thank you so much for that. And how did it all get started? That's what I was asking Franco, because when did you start all the Instagram, like specifically, and when did you start all of this?
Well, that started, back back in, I think it was shortly after my daughter was born, so a little over 2 years ago.
Okay.
And we started on TikTok as kind of where we first blew up. So I just posted a kind of a goofy video of Matt with my son, his nephew, Dominic, right? And it blew up, and I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah.
And it really took off, and people had a lot of really positive things to say and a lot of really good questions.
Awesome.
And of course, negative things to say too, and that kind of lit a fire in me.
But I just love it so much because it reminds me so much of remember how with Bella too, when she was younger, and being it, because there's no better way of being able to capture the essence of being a sibling of an individual with Down syndrome than I think through video.
Sure.
Because I mean, you can put it out there in any way that you want, but really just showing the day-to-day things that happen and just the fun with it and just the love and just that and everything that comes along with it. It's a perfect medium to be able to put it through. So the fact that it started with TikTok makes a lot of sense. And it was funny too, because I remember I think I saw one of the first ones that you made right at that time. I'm like, wait a minute, I know him. And I'm like, he's in GGU right now, because originally Matt was at Hoffman before, right?
Yeah.
So you did GiGi University. Yeah, he did GGU at the Hoffman location. And you should see all your peers now that are working in Hugs and Mugs. I can't wait for them to see this. They're going to be really excited that you're here and what you're doing. That's really cool.
Do you remember that for those first couple of days when Matt was born?
And did your parents know? Was there a prenatal diagnosis, or were they blindsided at the birth?
They found out at his birth.
Okay.
Yeah, so I only, you know how when you look back at videos and pictures and you're like, oh, I remember that.
Exactly,
You're not actually
yeah.
sure if you do or if it's just kind of like videos
see
and
the video.
pictures pull up
Mhm.
for you. So I'm not really sure if I really remember it. I do remember some of the early days of having him home, and you know, some of those pieces, but I don't necessarily remember the day being going to the hospital and meeting him for the first time. But seeing the videos and pictures that my parents kind of had, we were able to pull back some of those old memories that were saved on like VHS tapes, where my dad had a video
Yeah.
camera.
That's
Yes.
pretty much where all my memories
So
too.
looking back at those, I'm so thankful that he did that. As much as my mom was like, "Oh, really?" You know, pulling out the video camera this day he's born in the hospital. But
Right.
looking back, it's cool to see like how my sister and I reacted to Matt. And at the time, he was just our little brother. We didn't know
Yeah.
anything about Down syndrome at the time. But
My talents around.
yeah. But yeah, so it's really special having some of those first memories saved on film.
Yeah.
Totally. We just
Because we're celebrating our 20th anniversary, which is crazy that she's 20 and that we've been doing this here for 20 years. And
Yeah.
we've been doing the same thing. So we went back and looked at those first days, you know, like, and watching Franco understand, you know, when he, you know, sees her in the NICU, and the other kids were just running around being crazy. They didn't really understand it, but Franco just kept looking at me saying, "Why is she in there? I want to see my sister. I just want to see, why can't I see her?" Like, he knew, but he didn't know. You know, he knew something was up because
my little sister is in that room, and my mom won't let us in there, and I had just found out probably 5 hours earlier, so I was just doing my best to be happy mommy, who was completely blindsided and had no idea how I was going to navigate any of this, but I just knew they were going to take my lead, and I just had to celebrate, and we just have to keep celebrating. But he knew in that moment that something was wrong. So I too am so grateful that we did have the camera out and that we saw that and that he's able to see.
Because I was able to see, I can go back and look at it now. That was why I asked, because I was like, we've been seeing so much of that footage now.
Yes.
That like I guess at the time I didn't like I thinking about it now, I don't really like process it the way
Yeah.
that I did until I saw that video. I was like, whoa, I genuinely was worried and concerned, and I wanted to be that protector. So I wasn't sure if you saw that same thing in yourself at that young age, but I
Yeah.
think that at this age now, I think we all do.
Right.
For sure. But I was curious because I know that now you guys are adults and you have a family of your own, and Matt is an uncle. And so Matt, I guess I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind me asking you a question right now. How does it feel to be an uncle to a niece and a nephew?
Mm-hmm.
Do you love it?
Yeah.
I'm sure you do. I see it on your Instagram and Erin's Instagram, how much,
Yep.
just how caring you are for them and how much you love them.
And I see that protector role has now
Yes.
gone to him
Yeah.
for your kids, which is so cool.
Definitely.
Yeah, that was really cool to kind of see how, like, looking at those old videos of myself with Matt and how that was kind of just the role I took on for him.
Mhm.
And now that's kind of come full circle, and he's doing that very same thing for my kids. That makes me just unbelievably happy and like, wow, what a privilege it is to get to witness that. And also just grateful for my growing up with him as a sibling, and the role that I at the time didn't really intend on. Hey, someday I really would hope my brother would be a protector to my own children. Like, I'm not
Right.
thinking that at 6, 7,
6
8 years old.
yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, I'm grateful that that's kind of the way it played out, because now, I mean, he definitely knows what he's doing, and he just kind of has that natural nurturing instinct.
He totally does. I'm always so surprised when I watch it. I'm like, I love it.
No, the videos are beautiful.
They're
And
amazing, and I
it
think-
makes me excited about the idea of one day when
I know.
GiGi could then also be that same person, being able to be that aunt to my kids. But I was curious, just like looking at it, like when over the course of say like since you met your husband in that time frame, like was that something that you started thinking about? Like how is this going to translate into my family now?
Yeah, definitely. We didn't, I mean, my kids are the first on our side of the family. My parents' first grandkids,
Oh.
Matt's first niece and nephew. So we had no idea how it was going to go. Matt is a goofball. If you
No,
haven't
you're
been able to
right.
tell, just a short time already. He has the things he likes, and he's silly. So we kind of figured, like, I don't know, we never really seen him interact with kids before. So like, oh, he's gonna be indifferent to them, kind of goofy around them, maybe not care so much. But it was instant. As soon as like we placed Dominic in his arms, he was quiet.
Oh, you're quiet.
He was like just this calming presence and just so affectionate, just like it's like, you're my, what did you call him? You're my little baby, and just so tenderly to him. And I think my dad, because obviously I was recovering from giving birth, but my dad was the one again who had the camera out.
I had birth.
You have not had birth.
Come on here.
My dad put the camera out again and captured those first moments of Matt now holding my son. And you were just, you were so sweet to him.
My son.
Yeah, you call him your son sometimes.
No,
Which...
mother's my son.
Now, was there something about you wanting to adopt a child with Down syndrome also?
Yeah, so my husband and I are in the process of adopting, I would say a little boy, but he's not so little anymore. He's 13 now.
Oh, wow.
And he's in China, and I met him when I was 18, and then we met him a couple other times. I introduced my husband to him, and a couple other trips to China. I've got to know him over the years, and just kind of really fell in love with him. And we're Christian believers, so we felt the Lord just tell us, like, hey, adopt him. And so
You're gonna adopt me.
not you. You already have a family. But yeah, so we're pursuing his adoption now, and just really hopeful that we're able to welcome him into our family soon.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah, Matt has definitely been the kind of the catalyst for that as well. Just giving me the the feeling that, like, I can do that.
Totally.
We can do that. It's worth doing.
Right.
He deserves a family. He deserves a life, and so we're eager to step into that role as well.
Have you been communicating?
incredible.
Have you been communicating with him all along, or no? Do you get to communicate with him in
Whether
China?
it's like phone calls, Zoom calls, whatever.
We were able to when he was in a foster home, and he was being cared for by family members who had begun this kind of orphanage foster home abroad. We were able to keep in fairly regular communication. We would receive updates, pictures, videos, and all of that. But then, due to some changes in the laws and things, that foster home had to close. And so he's back in the government institution orphanage now. So that was about 2 years ago, and that communication has been pretty cut since then.
Oh my goodness.
So that's been really hard.
Yeah. We'll pray for you on that one for sure. If we can help in any way, let us know. Do they get therapies and stuff in those orphanages? Do you know, or the government?
The government,
programs?
I don't believe so. They just have such a large number of children that they are caring for that
their foster
it's very
system's
limited what
massive.
resources and things they're able to provide to kids. So he was receiving quite a bit of therapy and education and so much love at his previous home, but now I'm not sure what that looks like anymore. So that's hard.
He is so blessed to have you. Oh my goodness. Please keep us posted on how that goes. That's amazing.
Yes, we'll definitely be following too.
Yeah.
Because I was reading through that story, and I'm like, this is just incredible. The fact that you were so young when you went there, and you immediately, with your husband too, right?
The first time was just me.
It was just you. Okay.
And then
And then
I met my husband a few years after that, and then was like, hey, let's go to China. And,
I want to go to China. I want to go
You
to
do want to go to China someday, right?
Japan.
And Japan, yes.
Yeah.
Me too, man.
Then he went, and we just kind of fell in love with the culture and the people and the
culture.
home and the children, and
My house.
Yeah, it's an incredible story, and I really hope that it all plays out the way that it does, because it's just a beautiful thing. And I think the fact that you felt that connection just means that, like you said, it's meant to be.
Totally.
And that God put you there for a reason, and it's to help this child's life and bring him here. So that's really noble, and I absolutely love that. I wanted to go back a little bit as to with your relationship with your husband, and then like how you guys started this family, because I think it's an interesting conversation to have with any sibling. Is like, when you guys first met, what was
like, did he have much exposure to individuals with Down syndrome? Like, what was
good
his,
question.
like, I guess initial reaction to being like, hey, like, I have a brother with Down syndrome. Is this
And we're
something
a
you think you
package
can
deal.
handle? Like, yeah.
Yeah. So we actually met in a special education class our freshman year of college.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So-
there you go. He could handle it.
Boom.
His cousin has Down syndrome. So him and his cousin, I don't know how close they were growing up necessarily, but he was aware of what Down syndrome was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously wanted to pursue a degree in special education. So he was totally cool with it. It was kind of just like, all right, that's great.
Yeah. That's
It wasn't a big deal to him or anything that was of any concern or didn't cause him any like holdups in wanting to pursue a relationship with me. If anything, he was like, sweet,
yeah,
Yeah,
love
It
it.
was awesome.
I can meet it. And he said the other night we were talking and I was like, do you remember your first time meeting Matt? And he was like, yep, I came, like, we picked him up at the train station in Chicago, just me and I think my mom or dad came along too. And Matt was at home and Matt opened the door for him and greeted him with a big hug and a kiss. And he was officially welcomed.
Sealed the deal. There it
That's
is.
Seal of approval from
So
Matt.
he remembered his first time meeting him, and he's like, the kiss was a little uncomfortable, but he's like, at least I knew like I was loved and welcomed, and
Yep,
I'm
accepted.
excited, yeah.
it was very on brand for the way that Matt greets anyone.
Yep.
So
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I love it. I asked too because I think that it's important for other siblings out there to be able to see that whenever they're with someone that may not necessarily be exposed to individuals with Down syndrome and they might be like nervous as to like that's something to pursue, like if that's that person for you and you know that for a fact, that's typically the response that you just gave, that it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I think people are just like, they know that, yeah, I'm with you. I'm ready to take on anything. And it's never really something that, it's not too much to take on. It's the idea
Right.
that it's like, it makes life just that much more special. And I love that that's the message that you preach too, is that just being a sibling, you would never trade Matt's diagnosis for anything in the world.
no. Yes, you make life way more fun, way better in every way, right, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But he is still my brother, so there are times where I'm like right now, where I'm like, dude, come on, sit up straight,
I love you.
cut the language, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he can't help staring at himself. And
Oh no, he loves
Yeah,
he loves
right.
it. That's
It's
exactly what
okay,
he's doing
Matt. When
too.
I'm on a
Every
Zoom
time
call too.
yeah,
Green pans to a bigger version of us, he's like, hi, it's me. Yep, there it is.
I get it, brother. The
There it
exact
is.
same way. Gigi, do you have any questions?
wait, I have a
Oh,
quick
you have
question
one.
too.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
sorry.
sorry about your book. I love that. Now, when did that come out? When did the book come out?
And what was the
Yeah,
inspiration behind writing it, if you can add to that too?
The book came out August of 2021.
Oh,
So I guess
awesome.
a few years ago now, but
14 years ago.
yeah, so it's been out for a little while, and that was something I always wanted to do.
I love it.
always loved writing. Even I think, excuse you, even before Matt was born, I think right from like kindergarten, I loved teaching. I loved being in the classroom, and my favorite subject was always writing. So as soon as I started a love for reading, I started this love for writing, and it was like, one day I want to have a book.
Yeah.
Matt was born, and just growing up together, I think I wrote some things like poems. I remember entering contests for different things in school for like these little
Yeah,
poems, and I would always
Yeah.
write them about Matt.
Oh,
He always kind of like, I don't know, I just had this, and I remember writing a paper in middle school, I think it was, and it was a persuasive paper or essay,
Yes.
and I wrote it on why we don't say the R word.
Oh,
And he always just been like, I don't know, my niche, I guess.
Right.
Like our relationship is like, oh, I can relate everything in my life to like my brother and our relationship, and what a gift it is to grow up with a brother with Down syndrome. And so everything, almost, it seems like everything I do and think, and it just comes from that lens and that perspective. So when it came to writing a book, I have so many ideas, but it was like, oh, obviously, like
Yeah.
that's what I want to write a book about.
totally.
Is that relationship, and just seeing the need for like growing up. And Franco, you can probably relate to this as well. I loved reading, so looking to my bookshelf, I was always looking for a book that would help me understand what it was like from siblings who had walked this path before me as a kid. And there was nothing. There was books for parents, there was maybe more like nonfiction types of books that were like, here's a little short story about growing up with a sibling with cerebral palsy, but I couldn't find anything specific to growing up with a sibling with Down syndrome. And
Yeah, there's very
so
few.
coming with that background, I was like, well, I guess I'll write one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it took a little while to get that out there, but that was
And
kind of a cool way of seeing a dream come to life.
Totally.
And again, another way for Matt to see himself in the pages of a book and
Right.
to recognize, hey, that's me and that's mom and that's dad. And then, and that was, I think, cool for both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's amazing. Matt, I think Matt's your muse, if anything.
Yes.
Sorry, it's Matt the muse. But it's so true. I think the idea that, like when you're a kid, like it's because I think that's the important part. Is it's not like some book for like, you know, I mean, it's for anyone to read, but like it's for all ages. And I think like some of these books that I've seen that are for like siblings, it's for like older siblings, like coming on to like the idea of like becoming a guardian and stuff like that. Like there wasn't really that
More
stuff
serious.
out there.
Yeah,
It's more serious subject matter. And I think the idea of just having something out there that celebrates life and it shows that it's normal and that it's just a beautiful thing, is so necessary. And I love that you just saw the need there and you created it. And it's just so important that more people do that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think
Totally.
there's a lot of things that lack when it comes to siblings with Down syndrome and just Down syndrome in general. So the idea of just taking it upon yourself to put that stuff out there yourself and be like, screw it, I'll do it myself.
Yep.
Is amazing. Yeah. Sorry, did you have something you want to say?
Yeah, no, I love it. I want to make sure that we get some in the playhouses. Do you? Is it self-published or is it? Do we? Or how do we? We could talk about that, but how do people go about getting your book?
Yeah, so you can order it on Amazon. That's probably
cool.
the way that would be the easiest for
Yeah,
most people.
yeah.
I kind of did the indie publishing route, so Friesen Press is my like.
Yeah.
I don't like that name of that. They kind of helped me get the book out there. They did a lot of the work that I didn't know how to do, honestly, because I was
Yeah.
like, I'll write a book.
And then
I
what?
can't-
Yeah.
Yeah. So they
Cool.
helped a lot with that, and so you can get it through their website as well.
Okay,
Friesen
great.
Press.
I think that would be
Amazon,
great.
Yeah.
You can get the hard and soft cover on there, and that's everyone's on
Amazon.
Amazon.
Okay, cool.
Easiest.
I do. I think that would be just such a great, because like at every Gigi's Playhouse, it's about the siblings too. It's about the whole family. It's never just about that individual with Down syndrome. We serve the entire family. I think it'd be great for us to have books like that. We have so many siblings. Franco wants to start the sibling group, which you should have Erin be a part of.
Yeah.
He's
perfect
real.
person to ask
Yes,
that as well.
she would be really
Yeah,
good.
so the whole idea of the sibling connection, which if I get a moment to actually start it, I need someone to really kind of head it up. So if you're willing to, it's the whole idea of just being able to connect all these siblings together to have this resource network. So if they want to have someone to talk to, say if you're 6 years old and you just had a brother with Down syndrome, and you want to talk with someone who's 11 years old, just to kind of get a perspective of what it's like from another kid, or if someone like you're 30 years old, or me at 26, having a conversation with someone who might be in the position of becoming a guardian for their sibling, and being able to do that. So just being able to create that resource network for those siblings to be able to go to is something that I really want to build out.
We're building out the virtual playhouse now, so it will be a part of our virtual playhouse. So it'll be
everyone.
Yes, which will be an interactive site. So it'll be really cool. So yeah, she is. We have to remember that because we're really, really excited about it and the possibilities and the doors it can open up for our individuals with Down syndrome, the opportunities that it can open up through these sibling connections and the sibling love that is fierce and ferocious. Like that is my favorite thing, is that you guys are now like that next generation that are just ready to take it on, and it's amazing. I just think it's so exciting. All right, Gigi, I know Gigi she's getting
She's
that.
like sitting here like pointing.
She's
at
like keeps pointing like
questions.
I have questions.
I'm like, okay.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right. What are your questions?
How old are you, Matt?
23.
Oh, 23.
23.
Wow.
Little
All
older
right.
than you.
He's got a couple years on you, doesn't he?
Yeah.
All right.
What's your favorite part about having Matt as your brother?
Oh, what's the favorite part about having Matt as your brother?
I would say just, oh my goodness, that's a loaded
Happy
question.
birthday.
I could say a lot, obviously. I would say my favorite part is just the love that he shows and the joy that he carries for just everyday life. I can find myself stuck in a rut, right, of life, like everyone can, right, stress and things. And Matt just has this perspective that sheds a lot of light on, like, hey, no, it's not that serious. Like, just have fun, you know, and love the person in front of you. And that has always been something he showed me, and I just really appreciated that. Like, the way that he views life and the way that he also tackles life. So many things that are so much harder, I think, for myself, or for that we put in front of us, like, this is hard, I can't do this. And Matt's like, I can.
Yeah, and you're like, okay.
He's gonna try it. He's gonna go 100%. So I don't know. I don't want to say inspires, but I think it does.
I was
inspire
thinking,
me.
that's what I'm thinking, like the inspiration, because I know I have that too with GiGi too, when things are hard or, he needs a little Spire. Want to take a sip, brother?
Yeah, I know. You can transfer some of that through the screen there, some caffeine.
But yeah. So I would say what she was saying is her favorite part about him is the way he inspires her. That's I know, right?
Well, you do the same thing with me. Well, at least you're always the person that I go to whenever I need to, like, you know, cheer up. If I'm ever in some type of mood where I need to be able to just, like you said, feel inspired and just feel the need to get some, I guess, perspective on life and just being like, you know, everything's great.
Yep.
There's
I'm okay.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think we're all good.
Yep.
But yeah, because I absolutely love that, because it's the exact same thing. And I think it's the same thing with a lot of different siblings too.
Yeah.
I was nice to my boyfriend too sometimes.
You're nice to your boyfriend? Yeah.
Yeah.
To your boyfriend, your brother.
Both.
Doesn't matter.
Both. Okay.
Thanks, Gigi.
Who's mom's favorite?
Oh, who's your mom's favorite?
Oh man, can I say the grandkids? No, I feel like, man, I mean, she's gonna say she doesn't have a favorite, of course, but
Yes.
we're also different. Like, we've always been, the three of us have been so different. So I give my parents a lot of credit for raising three entirely unique, different individuals.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
I think your mom's favorite, don't you think?
He's like,
Yes,
it's
I
not
do.
even a question. I already
Yeah.
know this.
He's like, why would you even ask me that? We all know it.
Kelly, we all know it's you, because you're just so, you love your mother.
My son.
She's not your son. but
Come on.
He has-
You're cute.
Matt, are you a mama's boy?
Oh, totally.
Oh,
One of
yeah.
his nicknames for her. He's got a lot of, like, pet name nicknames for our mom, and you give her a lot of affection,
Yeah,
right?
right.
You love your mama.
That's
No.
awesome. That is awesome.
I am my mom's favorite.
You're the favorite?
Yes.
They go through this all the time.
I
Yep.
mean, your mom didn't start a playhouse called Franco's Playhouse, so yeah, I would have to and build a whole, career around it. So I'd have to say it's probably you.
Yeah.
But I think I have my days. I do
I
think I have my days.
help her.
Yes.
I'm traveling.
You were traveling. She does help me.
Where do you meet your husband?
Oh,
Where or how?
Where?
Sorry. Where? I met him at Hope College. We met in a special
you were in
education
special
course
education.
Oh, yeah.
second semester of our freshman year,
That's nice.
and the rest is history.
Wow. Are you guys both teachers? Do you teach?
Yeah, we're both teachers. We both received our degrees in education, but I currently am staying home most of the time with my daughter. And my husband is actually kind of switched fields. So he started off actually doing youth ministry, and then recently is in a different field. And then I am taking a little break from teaching this year, but I'm still running our schools or our district's unified sports program.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome.
So if you've heard of that before, that's Special Olympics sponsored, kind of run by them. It's a nationwide program, and basically is all about making sure that we can play sports in an inclusive way. So students, athletes with disabilities, and students without are able to compete and play together on the same team.
I love that. Love that.
I love the fact that, and this, sorry, Gigi, I'll let you get to your last question. Just hold on. I think it's so cool in the way, and I've talked to a lot of different siblings about this, and the way that so many of us get into working with individuals with special needs, whether it's, even leading groups and doing something else with your career, or actually having your whole career be about that. And then also just like the volunteer work that people do. Like, it's really, I think that's probably one of my favorite parts about the sibling dynamic.
Yeah.
Is the idea that it not only instills this sense of like pride and wanting to and caring for your sibling, but also the fact that it also allows you to want to go out into the community and care for other people and help others.
Yeah.
So much. And I think it's
So much
just,
compassion. I mean,
that's really the
think
thing.
that-
I
yeah.
think it's just siblings of individuals with Down syndrome or any disability, are
Disability,
just so filled with compassion and just wanting to be able to bring that out to the world. And, taking everything that they've learned as someone and then put it back out there for everyone else to take in. And that's what I love what you're doing with especially with the social media. I think it's really, really resonating with people, and that's why it's growing so much, and I think that's why everyone loves seeing Matt as an uncle so much.
yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, Gigi, to
Go ahead.
overtake your questions.
That's fine.
Okay.
What are you most proud of in your life?
This question for me or for Matt?
Oh,
Both.
Both. Oh, both.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. Woo.
Sorry.
I would say for me, it's
okay.
everything. Matt says everything.
Everything.
Everything?
Yep. I don't blame you on that one.
You've done a
Be
lot,
silly.
man.
For me, I would say being a mom.
Oh,
Aw.
that is awesome.
I mean, that's always been something that I've always wanted to be. And
Right.
yeah, I love it. It's such a special gift and privilege. And then of course to see Matt be an uncle, it's just like nothing makes me hurt fuller than watching my brother with my kids. That is just
See my kid.
Nothing. I agree with you. Why? It makes my heart, like, I watch it, I'm like, oh, thank you, God. But I just think it's so amazing that you're able to give them those opportunities, that you guys live, or that you make sure that you get that time together. Not necessarily that you live close to each other, but that you make sure you have that time and you make that time. Because I think
so
that's important. So many times a sibling will move away and this one will move here, and there's time lapses that go on so long, and that connection is still there because you're talking on the phone, FaceTime, whatever it is. But the fact that you guys make that time, that he is a part of your children's lives, is something you're never going to forget or ever going to regret 1 second of that. And the way you document it is amazing. Amazing. We're so blessed. Yeah.
very hopeful that, having that documented obviously is great for the social media purposes and, the reaching out to other people so they can see it too. But in the future, for my kids to be able to see
My kid.
those memories with their uncle and be
Oh
like,
my
whoa,
gosh,
he
yeah.
really
See my
took care of
kids.
us, or he did this with us, or, they might have those memories, like I said, when I was younger, that I was able to pull back, like, oh, I think I remember that when I was little. But it's really those videos and pictures that I'm able to recognize just how much of a connection was there. And
Right.
yeah, I'm hopeful they'll really resonate with that too as they grow older.
They
I-
absolutely will.
Totally. And I also think for new parents, so many times we get pregnant moms here, and their biggest fear, so many of them have come up to me, and they're afraid for what life is going to be like for their other kids. You know what I mean? I can't even tell you how many pregnant, that is their biggest fear. And it was my biggest fear when I had Gigi, was like, what is this going to do to their lives? And I could never make their lives as rich and full as they are without her, and that's the thing. So them being people, those pregnant moms, those young moms, being able to see Matt as a mentor, as an uncle, as a protector, is really a gift. Showing that to them so they can see as a sibling, where the siblings are going to be 20 years from now, is really a gift to be able to see that. So
gosh,
awesome.
yeah.
I have two more.
Oh, geez. Okay. Sorry. Okay, go quick then.
What's your favorite thing to do together?
Oh, good question.
Together. Well, what would you say, Matt? What do you like to do with me?
Just smell your breath.
Smell my breath. That doesn't make sense. Try again. You like
There is so many things he could have said, and that was not what I was
That
expecting.
would have never.
That's the one he said. Yeah. Say it again. Say eat.
Eat food.
Eat food.
Oh.
Oh, you guys like going out to eat together?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Eat.
What kind
To go out to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Restaurants. That's kind of like a special time to connect.
Yeah,
Sure.
it absolutely is.
Say
Can I ask?
What kind of food do you like?
Ooh, what kind of food do you like?
Everything.
Everything. What's your favorite? What'd you bring for lunch today at GGU?
Oh, and what?
What'd you bring for lunch?
University?
Yeah.
I don't know what you is.
Okay, university. What did you bring to eat?
A cheeseburger. A
Oh.
bacon
Ooh, I
cheeseburger.
love cheeseburger too.
Yeah.
You're speaking
Oh,
her
yeah.
language, Matt. You're speaking her
You said that, and
language.
G just like,
Yeah.
Cheeseburger?
cheeseburger?
Well, maybe I'll sit up straight now instead of falling into my chair over there. She's a big fan of the cheeseburger. Okay, last question. Go.
If you had one message to the world, what would it be?
If you had one message to the world, what would it be?
Oh boy. What would you say, Matt?
What?
I don't know what's going to come out of his mouth. So what would you say is your message to the world?
In the Lord's.
To the Lord? No, to the world. What would you want to say?
To the Lord's, yeah.
What would you want to say? Hey, be serious. What do you usually say?
What? I love you.
Oh, that's a good one.
Usually the message.
Yeah.
I would say for me, every life has worth. Like, we need to see the value and the worth in every life, and Down syndrome doesn't take away from the innate worth that every human has. If anything, it adds the reason to celebrate. So
Totally. I love that.
Could not agree more.
I love everything about this segment. I love that you shared that. I love that you're a mentor and a leader to so many new families. That I don't even know if you realize, how many lives you're able to touch by everything that you're doing in your life that you're sharing and sharing these special moments with Matt. So thank you so much for that. As you know, it's called A Little Something Extra. So everybody has that little something extra inside them that pushes them, that makes them who they are. What do you think your little something extra is, Erin?
I would say my ability to advocate for those who don't have as strong of a voice.
I love that. And you're doing it every single day, which is so awesome. Matt, what about you? You got a superpower, brother? I think your superpower is just being silly, making faces, and making people laugh.
And making people smile for sure. I know even when you were here, you did the exact same thing to me. Every time I see you, I always have a smile on your face.
Yes,
And
we
put
were.
a smile on mine.
Yes, we were just looking at some of those pictures today.
Yeah, we were looking over the photos from your GGU graduation when you were
Yep.
here at Hoffman. Back
Yeah.
in spring of 2022, I think.
Yep. I miss the Nashville location. I think I'm going to get there just so I could see you, Matt, and all the crew. I love that location. That is one of my favorite locations, and we love them.
Don't forget our country singer too, Blake Shelton.
Oh, and yeah, but he lives in Oklahoma.
Sorry.
She wants to see Blake Shelton. Okay, ready? So let's.
Ooh.
Who's got tips for us?
Do you say tips?
I did say tips.
Tips!
Woo! Are you ready for it? Here we
Love
go.
it. All right, let's hear those tips, Gigi.
What do you?
Here are my tips on loving your family.
Okay.
Our family is so important in life. They help make us who we are.
True.
Always make time for family, even only a little. It's so important.
Even if it's only a little time? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Nice.
Talk to them all the time. Talking to your family helps you stay close to them.
True.
Make sure you laugh a lot with them. Your family loves you no matter what. So be silly. Always have dinner together. It's good time to catch up or laugh or plan to hang out more. Even it's on FaceTime.
Mm-hmm. If it's only on FaceTime.
I do FaceTime my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. If Lucas doesn't get a plug in this, then it's not a podcast episode.
Sorry. Create a group message in Snapchat.
Yep.
That's how we talk all the time and make each other laugh all the time.
Oh my gosh. I think our family Snapchat is probably one of the funniest things that we do together as a family. It is
We do.
Oh, absolutely.
hysterical.
We always said something funny.
Yes.
Yes,
always.
a lot of funny things being said. I
Like-
wish it's saved because then we can actually see all the conversations
Oh my
in it
gosh.
instead of them all getting deleted. But
Yes.
it's probably a good thing they do.
Yes.
Do things together. I work out. My family. my family a lot and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure to give them. Family is too important to
What
be.
was that one again? You said give.
Oh, make sure to forgive them.
Oh, yes.
Family is too important to be mad at.
Yep.
Very true.
And finally, always tell them that you love them.
Boom.
That was good. That was a lot of tips.
That was a lot of tips.
I like
Yeah.
those. What do you guys think of those tips?
I think those are all spot on, Gigi. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about? Anything else to say before we sign off?
I love you.
I love you too, brother.
There it is. There's that message to the world.
That does it.
Yep.
Thanks for
Oh,
having us
Of
on.
course. And you love
Thank
your
you guys
your
so much for
sister
coming
too,
down.
don't you? That's the best. That warms my heart, brother. Warms my heart. Well, Erin, thank you so much for all that you're doing for our community. You are a gift from God. We will pray for you and
Me too.
yes, you can pray for her too. We
Yes.
will. We will. And does your soon-to-be son have a name? Is he do you have
William.
William?
William.
Oh,
Oh, cute.
we'll pray for William too. So please keep us posted. We'll follow you. Everybody should follow them and learn
Yes.
more about
Erin
this
Advocate.
silly boy right here who's such a protector, a fierce protector, an amazing uncle, and we are so, so proud of him. So, Matt, mwah, love you, brother. Erin, thank you so much. We can't wait to get involved more with the Sibling Connection. I think that could be really cool. I think you guys can do amazing things. Can't wait for William to be here, and we love you guys. Thanks so much for being here.
We will visit you in Nashville too.
We will visit you in Nashville for sure, very soon.
To wear cowboy boots.
Yes, we'll wear our cowboy boots. Whoop, whoop. All right.
Totally. Well,
Thank you
guys so
guys.
much for joining. This was really great. I really, really hope that any siblings that are out there listening right now get a lot out of this and follow you so they could really see just the beauty of being able to have a sibling with Down syndrome and how that can be and translate into adulthood and with your family that you start of your own one day. And yes, thank you so much for joining us. It was really great.
Everybody is born with a little something extra, and sometimes they just have to find it. A little something extra is that superpower that every single one of us has inside that motivates us and drives our passion and makes us do the things that we do.
We're all on the same team. Let's think about how we can make that team as inclusive as we can.
For those of you listening to our podcast right now, you can also check out our video podcast at alittlesomethingextrapodcast.org.